and Black Spike. Hey guys, this is the Ancient Wolflord, and whatever your channel name is.
John, J-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. And we are playing Orcs Must Die. Well, I'm playing, and he's just sitting here watching.
Right.
You guys may be familiar with this game. I do play it a good bit. By the way, John, I am not going to be using the Shock Zapper or any of the ones after it because those are DLC and completely cheap for me to use.
Okay.
So anyway, this is a really simple level. Pretty much how I described it. Door, rift, hallway.
Yeah.
And, I can't scroll over. Okay, there we go. Getting used to the controls again.
It looks interesting.
Yeah. So pretty much what I usually do, this is my general strategy for the early levels, is I just put down as much goop as I can and kill them while they're slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
Because that kind of trap slows them down as they walk on it. This is a spike trap. Self-explanatory.
Right.
I have my little blade staff, which is my melee. Usually don't use that much. And then the crossbow.
Cool.
In the second game, you get Blunderbuss, which basically acts as a shotgun.
Interesting.
Yeah, come at me, orcs. Alright, headshot.
Oh.
This level's obviously going to be pretty easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, crossbow spam for the win. Also, each of them have a secondary attack that takes some mana to use. I'll show you when they get a little grouped up. The crossbow has an AoE stun, and then the blade staff has a cone of knockback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like using melee early on though until I can power it up. What on earth? Did you see that guy?
Yeah, he was just like disappeared.
Yeah, he didn't die. It was weird.
Must have been like an orc angel or something.
Health pot, health pot.
Get it.
I can't. Stupid spawn shield. If I really need health, I can run back to the rift. It heals you.
Right.
But also doing that will decrease our score. Well, it won't take out the points, like, it won't get us closer to losing, but we won't get as many points at the end of the wave.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're basically rated 1 through 5 skulls for how well you did. You can only get 5 skulls if you do not heal and nothing gets into the rift and you do not die. Which dying takes away 5 rift points.
Mm-hmm.
Which you can see we have 20 right now. I don't know why my voice is cracking so much. It's in the upper right.
Okay, I see it. How many waves are there in each level?
It depends on the level. On the bottom of the map you can see the wave numbers. 3 of 3.
Okay. There we go. I see.
And the guy with his cheesy lines. I don't really like using spike traps too much, but, I mean, why not?
Right.
Yeah, this game gets really complicated later on, though. Like, the last level in the game, there are 8 doors you have to watch.
Really?
Yeah, and it's basically in a giant circle around the rift. That's
wouldn't be able to do that.
Huh?
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, well, you get different traps as you go along that make things easier if you... I found that I've actually played this game like 3 times through, and each time I had a different loadout at the end of it. I just found different ways I liked to do things.
Right. Looks like it takes a lot of strategy.
Oh yeah, it does near the end.
Yay. Victory.
5 skulls. Buy upgrades. We do not have enough to buy the sticky tar.
Ooh. It's a shame.
Yeah. Ooh, arrow wall, my favorite trap.
Yes. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, that works very well with tar traps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for one part of this game, my general strategy, you get archers that you can place down, up to 25 of them. Usually I just spam them in one place in front of tar traps, and everything gets destroyed.
Right.
So as you can see, we have 2 doors, but a very nice choke point right here, so it doesn't really affect things too much.
Right, yeah.
At first I tried to defend each door individually, but there are levels where you are forced to do that, but if you can avoid it, definitely try.
Yeah. Makes sense.
The other white meat. Alright, let's do this.
Interesting.
I can never say that and not want to follow up with Leroy Jenkins. Come on. Yeah, come at me, orc.
For some reason, it might be this green, but for some reason, To Infinity and Beyond popped in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this round's just orcs. There are actually different types of enemies that start spawning later on.
Uh-huh.
You have to fight, like, ogres and flame ogres, or flyers. Flyers are very obnoxious.
Which one's the hardest to beat?
Well, it really depends. Personally, I think flyers are the hardest because they add in a whole new mechanic of what you have to defend against.
Uh-huh.
Because they usually spawn somewhere else. But people could also argue armored ogres, because they're just tanks.
Right.
It really depends.
Interesting.
Aside from flyers, Knoll Hunters are really obnoxious because they have a completely different targeting mechanic. Because as you can see, once you hit them, they usually aggro on you, but other than that, they'll ignore you and head for the rift. Gnolls have a completely different setup. They go to kill your guardians, which are your archers and paladins first, then they go to kill you. Not to mention, every time they hit you, they give you a slow effect.
Right. Yeah, that's always pain.
Yeah.
I like how I just noticed some things. Like on the top center, it tells you who you're aimed at.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
And now they're coming out of both doors.
Oh, that's where it gets hard, I suppose.
Yeah, a little bit. Because you can't really just mow them down before they reach you, but still.
Right. I'm guessing you actually can die on this game.
Yeah, that usually takes away like 5 rift points. It's basically the equivalent of 5 small orcs running into the rift.
Wow. I'm sure this isn't even the worst of it.
Oh, no. Although I should stop using melee.
Yeah, that might help.
I'm sure there's a health pot somewhere.
Somewhere.
Not to mention, we're still near... Oh, there we go. Usually if it has more than 3 waves, at the end of the 3rd wave is a break. Not to mention, in the earlier levels you have guardians that are already in here to help you out a bit.
Nice.
Not so much the later levels.
Right. Expect you to do more.
Yeah. Also, you can actually, like, pay to have guardians in the later levels.
You know, I don't see why you just don't put these right by the doors. Stop them right before they come out.
Yeah, that is a good thing sometimes, but it also costs twice as much to do that.
Ah. I see.
But there are levels where you have to... there are a couple levels where you have to set it up so that one door basically... they all die from traps right off the bat, then you're at the other door, keeping the stuff at bay there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the levels that I hate.
You're right.
Because it's almost impossible to actually set it up. Well, there are ways to set it up in some levels where you don't have to do anything, but most levels you kind of have to split your attention.
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever survive in this game.
Nah, they are good about easing you into it.
Mm-hmm. Did a nice dance there.
Yeah. Victory is mine, again.
Yes. Victory.